Dating game going strong in building the modern employer brand. And if you just went, what the heck? Then that's great because I really wanted you to. So last week I started with the first part of how building your employer brand is like dating. And this week we're going to finish with this thought, this crazy sounding idea, and see whether we end up married, just engaged, or broken up. So I want to welcome you back to this episode of Building a Modern Employer Brand podcast. This is your first time listening to this podcast. You are so incredibly welcome to join us in exploring the world of modern employer branding with me, Susanna Rantanen, as your guide. I also want to mention that this particular podcast episode, as well as last week's, includes a picture of the candidate journey of the information era, and it will be so much easier for you to follow this episode if you are able to take a look at this candidate journey of the information era picture. So you can find it on the show notes page at modernemployerbrand.com/podcast 181. Or if you're watching this right now on YouTube, it will be on the screen. So last week, I went through the phases from winning sustainable attention to building employer brand affinity. And I'm talking about the candidate journey of the information era phases. In this episode, we continue with value conversions, and I also have a bonus phase on what happens beyond those conversions. So you do want to listen to or watch this right until the end, so you will actually also hear and learn about what needs to happen beyond conversions. But let's get cracking on it because this is a long episode. Alrighty, so let's first talk about what happens behind the conversion phase, because that is where human behavior and the behavioral science has the most or the biggest impact. The value conversion phase in the magnetic employer branding method is often misunderstood because it is sort of automatically compared to recruitment campaigns. And I do get that. The only conversions we are familiar with in HR are those conversions where job seekers convert to applicants, some applicants convert into candidates in our recruitment process, and even then fewer candidates that are converting into our new employees. So I get that. The painful shift from what was once an employer's market and then turn into a job seeker's market has made talent acquisition more challenging than ever. And there are multiple reasons to this. Let me give you those. So first one is the digitalization, because that has created so many new roles and new demands for skills and knowledge that have also replaced many of the traditional jobs and roles. And over the past decade, people have gotten laid off unless they were motivated to update their skills, matching these new skills and demands that the digitalization has brought upon. And for years, that demand for many new skills has exceeded the availability of those talents who have those skills. So there is this consistent and continuously growing shortage of labor in multiple talent markets that has made hiring very difficult for most employees. Furthermore, the digitalization also created a new form of employment called selfpreneurs. These are people who prefer to employ themselves as freelancers so that they can enjoy more freedom of choice and freedom on the place to work. And I think that many employers are still not ready to accept selfpreneurs as equal candidates for a vacancy. If you are more experienced in work life, meaning that you were already working before the financial crisis around 2009, you know what I'm talking about. This transition, which really hit the world during the financial crisis, has been called the biggest, the fastest, and the most painful change in the work life or in the human history. And if on the other hand, you started your career less than 10 years ago, this is all you know. You are a born and bred talent of the digital era. And this, by the way, is also your advantage in this war for talent, because you were pretty much born with digital and social skills of this era and that ability to effortlessly adapt to new technologies, innovations, and changes that are stemming from this digital revolution. And this difference in consumer behavior, I want you to put that term behind your ears consumer behavior. This difference in consumer behavior between those who entered the workforce, like I have, before the digital era, and those who entered it during the digital era, is actually greater than we may understand and know, because people like myself who were born before Google was actually invented, we have had to relearn and adapt to this, all these digital changes. And for many people, change is kind of like a swear word. It's against your comfort, what you will in the work life. Now, consumer behavior refers to the study of how individuals like yourself, groups of people, organizations select, buy, use, and dispose of goods and services and ideas and experiences to satisfy their needs and desires. The study of consumer behavior involves understanding the decision-making processes that consumers like you and I go through before we make purchase decisions and influence others also with their purchase decisions. And these factors that are influencing us include personal preferences, cultural influences, social pressures, emotional triggers, and also economic conditions, which we all know have been impacted by first the pandemic and then the war in Europe in a significant manner. And why I'm telling you about consumer behavior is because you are a consumer, and your behavior as a consumer is very, very, very close to your behavior as a job seeker and as a citizen of internet and as an employer or a recruiter. When you study consumer behavior as a person involved in talent marketing, and businesses also too, can more effectively tailor their strategies to meet the needs of their target audience, improve customer satisfaction, and increase sales. And now, this is important. So in the same way, by studying talent behavior as talent marketers, or if you prefer to call yourself an HR marketer, we can tailor our talent marketing strategies more effectively to meet the needs of our target talent audience, improve candidate and employee satisfaction, and increase employee engagement, loyalty, and trust within our talent audience. So that is why we emphasize the importance of understanding talent behavior and knowing what is your specific talent market behavior over time, because that changes as well. And understanding why regular analysis of your talent marketing data and talent market data is really important in your success as an employer branding professional. Now, since I was first introduced to the science of psychology of the human behavior, that was in high school, so a long time ago, I have been intensely fascinated and influenced by it. And I think that was one of the reasons why, instead of after graduating with university degree, marketing and communications, I actually ended up working or making a career in HR, because I love human behavior. I excelled in psychology in high school, and I planned a career in it, but I was suggested by someone that I sort of dated at the time that it may not necessarily be the career of my dreams, because their mom was a psychiatric, and I ended up changing my mind. And good. But I never stopped being interested in human psychology specifically. And I have obviously studied it and read about it a lot during my career in HR and later in HR marketing, because it's so fascinating. And this has been hugely beneficial for me, especially when I was working more, let's say, I was working more in talent acquisition at one part of my HR career, but also during the part of my career, or the phase in my career when I was intensely involved with the development of company cultures. Later, I also understood how valuable my interest and fascination and knowledge of human behavior has been in building my career as an employer branding expert. And I think that recruiters, especially those of you who work with work personality inventories, will benefit greatly from this understanding of talent behavior when it comes to talent marketing. And this is also why the application of behavioral science in marketing is one of the cornerstone theories in the magnetic employer branding method that I've developed. Now, If this is an area that interests you, I suggest that you Google behavioral marketing because you will find lots of interesting stuff on it. And if you want to get my aid on that, I actually created a link for Google results on behavioral marketing, which you can find on the show notes episode at modernemployerbrand.com/podcast 181. I don't know, but behavioral science is so compelling and it really helps you to understand how to get your talent audiences to want what you want them to want from you. That's right. Now put that behind your ears and in your brain. Okay, so now let's look at the candidate journey of the information era. Let's look at the final phase of that candidate journey, which is the conversion phase. Now, if you have that visual of the CGIE, that's candidate journey of the information era, in front of you, you'll see it as the final step on that candidate journey I said. So in marketing, we use the term conversion to explain the desired action taken by potential customer in response to a term that we refer to as call to action. Yes, so we have a conversion term for marketing and call to action term for marketing. Call to action refers to us asking a potential customer or a job seeker or somebody in our target audience to do something such as book a call, buy now, order here. As a consumer, these are very familiar calls to action that you've probably seen and even pressed on or ticked on or tapped on or converted into someone's audience through a call to action like that. And it's the same in talent marketing. Now the potential person is not a consumer buying something, but a passive or an active job seeker or already your existing employee who we wish to do something that benefits our business and our organization. And this action is what we call the call to act. This is what we ask them to do. This could be anything from signing up for your career newsletter, filling out a job application form, engaging with a specific content, starting to follow you on social media, or signing up for a career event that you have. And essentially, it is the moment when that person in your target audience transitions from being interested in your offer to taking that specific action that you want them to take, that moves them further along in the marketing funnel. If you are unfamiliar with another marketing term, marketing funnel, I also have linked a really good blog article that you can find on the show notes page, modernemployerbrand.com/podcast 181. Now, the candidate journey of the information era is also equivalent to a marketing funnel. It's just in a different sort of shape. Marketing funnel is like a funnel, when a candidate journey is just simply like a forward-going journey. So as I explained in last week's episode, the entire candidate journey from winning sustainable attention to awareness and affinity is emphasized by us giving lots of value to those people in our target audience. Value means in HR marketing that our content and our messages are interesting enough for those people in your target audience to actually want to see them. And not just once, because remember, you want to win sustainable attention. So they want to repeatedly come across your content, your HR marketing content, and consume it. Okay. So it has to be interesting enough for them so that they actually want to repeatedly see your content, receive your content. And the value offered could be information, it could be educational in nature, it could be inspirational, or it could be also entertaining in nature. But what is common is that in all of this, you give and they receive. This costs your employer tons of money in the resources that is used in those phases, from winning the sustainable attention to growing awareness to building employer brand affinity. And that's why you must make sure that whatever you put out there is going to be beneficial enough for your target audience, because they will not convert to value for your business and organization unless you've already given them enough value. So conversions are the phase on this candidate journey of the information era where your organization, your business can expect to get returns for all this hard work that you have put into employer branding during these previous phases. Now, returns can be of many kinds, depending totally on the needs of your business and organization. But what is mutual between all those value conversions for your business is that they are worth money for your business. They are worth money, and you can measure the value return if you want to and need to. And you do want to, because that is the language that the top management speaks. That is why you, as the employer brand manager or the person responsible for employer branding work, must understand conversions. Be very interested in maximizing that conversion value and drive conversions with your content, with your social media posts, with all the marketing and communications actions that you take under employer branding. Now, you have a really, really good tool to help you with this. That is called data analysis, because that helps you to assess the effectiveness of your employer brand marketing at every single step of this candidate journey. Conversions are the most misunderstood aspect of employer branding, because many people mistakenly believe that employer branding is the same as a recruitment campaign. And in a recruitment campaign, conversion means received applications, right? And I get it. In HR, pretty much the only conversions that we really know of and regularly go after are the conversions from a job seeker to applicant to a candidate, and then hopefully to a new employee. That would be the correct conversion flow for a recruitment campaign in a recruitment process. But employer branding is not recruiting. Repeat that after me. Employer branding is not recruiting. That is why, if you can in any way, I'd like you to expand on your understanding, on your beliefs, on your actions when it comes to employer branding beyond applications. There are numerous other benefits that organizations and businesses can gain from employer branding that are actually worth more money than receiving applications to a recruitment process. I mean, of course, receiving applications is this positive side effect to employer branding, but your intentions should be more ambitious, more connected to actual business value than connected to recruiting. And when you get here with employer branding, I can guarantee you that new doors and new opportunities will open for you as an employer branding professional, because all of a sudden, and I'm going to be blunt about this, you are worth way more for the business than just its recruiting success. Now, while CEOs and management boards obviously can feel the pain of talent acquisition, it is actually not their problem. They don't want it to be their problem until it becomes their problem reaching the top management. And this can take a long time. Primarily, successful talent acquisition is the pain and the problem of team leaders, hiring managers, and recruiters, because it affects you much faster and causes you pain much quicker. The larger the organization, the less the CEO worries about recruitment flaws. They are simply just too far away, and they have hired many layers of other people to carry on or to carry that worry on their behalf. When we talk about more temporary talent acquisition challenges, CEOs can replace recruitment partners with seemingly better ones, or decide to offer better pay for new employees that are really difficult to acquire. Talent retention becomes the CEO's problem so much faster than talent acquisition. When knowledge and experience flow out of the organization, the customers of the organization are going to be impacted much faster, because they lose their trusted contact people, or the service or the product becomes less of quality than if the organization is struggling with not having enough resources. And I'm going to explain you why. Lack of resources impact hiring managers first, and then their teams have to carry on more weight. More weight isn't going to lead to the resignation of existing employees fast enough for it to become a CEO's problem until the lack of resources becomes a permanent problem. And that is what we call the war for talent. So it's an ongoing feud for talents in specific markets where demand surpasses the supply permanently. And first, this affects the cost of hiring. And over time, this results in employee and customer dissatisfaction, lost sales opportunities, reputation challenges that are followed by lost customers and employees. And as an employee branding professional, you become the VIP, the very important person to the CEO when those talent struggles become a key pain point for the CEO. I'm going to reveal you when this happens. The day their bottom line is affected, the board starts to ask questions, and the CEO's reputation and track record are in jeopardy. And this is when you want to show up like this fairy with your magic wand and provide the CEO with a solution. A magnetic, sustainable, long-lasting employer branding solution that will save your CEO's reputation and stop their boat from sinking. The magnetic employer branding method, I designed it to be that solution. Lasting, sustainable, magnetic employer branding solution. And I need you to take the ownership of your employer branding as the solution to fixing your talent retention and talent acquisition challenges that are impacting your company CEO. You should own employer branding as a solution instead of an occasional recruitment campaign, so that you can open the door to those professional opportunities of your desire and aspiration. Move forward in your employer branding career. When you continue to see employer branding as a campaign, your top decision makers will too. And campaigns are a cost. Branding is an investment. Campaigns are the worry of hiring managers. Investments are the opportunity for the top management. Where do you want to be? The worry side or the opportunity side? You decide. It is for no reason that the magnetic employer branding method has been recognized as a game-changing method in the employer branding domain. Why so many of our clients have won accolades, have been recognized as the most attractive employers in their domains. Why people who have worked for me and my husband and learn how to build the modern employer brand from me have built successful employer branding careers, even winning the best employer brand professional of the year titles. With this now ringing in your ears, don't you think you need to hear how you can set conversion goals for employer brand that reach beyond applications? I should think yes. This will help you increase your employer branding budgets, resources, as you can prove your boss the real value of employer branding, not to a hiring manager here or there, but the entire business, the value of employer branding for the entire business. Yes? Okay, I hear. I hear you. So here it is. It's essential to clarify that in employer branding, conversion does not strictly equate to applying for a current job. While this can be, and often it is an outcome, focusing on applications only makes you lose the real value of proper employer branding. You want to separate recruitment campaigns from employer branding to maximize the impact for both. Employer branding is an ongoing communications process that grows awareness, nurtures engagement, strengthens the target audience's desire to become and stay part of your organization or your tribe. It is long-term in nature and therefore may or may not immediately result in a flow of job applications. Employer branding is there to solve different types of problems than a recruitment campaign. Your recruitment campaigns have the job to convert your relevant audience members into applicants, and they will when you have a magnetic employer brand. Now, I want to expand or explain you the definition of conversion a little bit, I would say expand the definition of conversion. In the broader context of employer branding, conversion refers to any action that deepens engagement and brings those potential talents closer to your organization so they actually move forward, take those steps forward on the candidate journey of the information era. And the value of employer branding conversions is that you have actual people who have given you their permission to connect with you, forge a relationship with your organization, who, with the help of marketing, can be more easily reached and convinced to act when you need to hire, who are more likely to spread the message to their peers and their connections, and who show the kind of interest in your content on social media that algorithms will then show automatically to their networks. Other people like them. I have had multiple employees in my agency over the years who have converted into our talent pool a year, even 2 years before they entered our recruitment process and started to work with us. That's an example of how the magnetic employer brand works. Value conversions in your employer branding could include objectives such as joining a community or a talent pool, subscribing to a career email list that you can, connect and keep in touch with your email list members, progressing their career in your organization. That would be an internal value conversion goal, converting your existing employees into ambassadors, shortening the time to hire, and reducing your overall recruitment costs, and so on. These are just a few examples. Now, conversion actions in employer branding are very similar to getting someone's phone number, making plans to meet again, becoming an item, getting engaged, moving in, and so on in a dating scenario. It's about continuing that, those first conversations, starting to date casually, and then this may or may not lead to entering a relationship and becoming exclusive. But it's the process of that is very similar between employer branding and dating. One of the most valuable objectives of the conversion phase is to develop a robust talent pool. And I am not talking about a CV bank. I am not talking about any source of a database that you hold these people's resumes and CVs. Talent pool could be as simple as a Facebook group of specific talent caliber that they have joined, and you have the access to their attention, and you can build the conversations and nurture that engagement with them. Or it could be even simpler, like your career specific email list or Instagram following that your account has. But this is a group of individuals who have expressed their interest in your company and your content because it feels valuable for them in informational, educational, inspirational, or in entertaining form. And they have opted to stay connected with you through one or more channels. They might not be ready to consider or even discuss a job opportunity or career opportunity with your company right now, or you may not want to hire them right now because they are still too junior, but you nurture them. You keep your relations warm with them until they have become more experienced or fit your hiring needs better, or you are ready to hire. What is valuable here is that they are interested in your organization and its future opportunities. Cultivating this pool is crucial because it provides a ready group of engaged individuals who might be perfect for future roles, thereby reducing the time and the costs associated with recruiting them in the future, so not necessarily now. And this is also a conversion objective that we use very often with our clients who are planning to expand their business to a new market and need to start building awareness as a relevant employer in those new markets way before that they start to hiring, and very much way before that hiring becomes super critical for them. So we help them to build an organic talent audience that converts into this so-called talent pool of potential prospects that they can contact later when they need to start hiring. And you cannot do this with recruiting because you don't have a job to offer them yet. But our employer branding method fits this kind of a scenario and need really well. Another significant aspect and example of a conversion objective in employer branding is the opportunity for potential candidates to meet one-on-one with the hiring managers or recruiters. And again, this doesn't mean that this is not equivalent to a job interview and you don't have to have a vacancy to offer them right now. This is akin to social recruiting online, but it translates very well into physical settings and meetings. And if you are unfamiliar with what social recruiting means, I have a podcast episode for this or about social recruiting. I can't remember I think maybe it was 146. I'll find it and I'll make sure that I add a link to it to the show notes at modernemployerbrand.com/podcast 181. Right. So as said, this is akin to social recruiting online, but it translates very well into physical settings and meetings too. But as said, these meetings are not a job interview. They're kind of like informal chats over coffee to explore mutual interests and fits. If you compare to dating scenario, it's akin to meeting for a coffee with someone that you might have met somewhere, or it's kind of like been chatting with them on Instagram or somewhere else, or somebody, suggested that you should meet this person, whatever. It's just like an informal chat to kind of get the vibe and see if there's potential for a more serious relationship, or, getting to know them better. So you're not really deciding that, yes, we're gonna become an exclusive couple here. So you're not hiring anybody. You're just getting to know. And these interactions allow both parties to stay in touch, check out the compatibility outside the pressure of an immediate job opening, align more with long-term career aspirations and the company's needs, build trust, and open the doors for future discussions. And this actually works really well with also your employees that have, moved on somewhere else, and you kind of want to keep in touch with specific people in your alumni. So you kind of informally continue that relationship as a hiring manager to make sure that, if there ever is a situation where your interests will meet, then there's no like bridges to cross. That's just, there's the trust that we can actually contact each other and ask about it. Okay, those examples were targeted outside the organization, but what about conversions in internal employer branding? Because these are really important when it comes to talent retention. So much emphasis is placed on attracting top talent to the organization, which I compare to the early stages of dating, where one is focused on making a good impression. Just as relationships in real life may fade after that initial allure, if there's no deeper compatibility and shared growth opportunities, businesses often face the challenge of retaining talent beyond that initial honeymoon period as well. And I think this is particularly true for employers who are known to attract graduates who are seen as compelling early career options, but struggle to retain staff for more than a year or 2 or 3 tops, as they seek then more advanced opportunities. And in these cases, we are known to help our clients set value conversion goals to focus on the engagement and retention of current employees by communicating core values, career development opportunities, and the overall employee value proposition within the organization. And this internal employer branding strategy is essential for extending employment, the life of employment, by ensuring that your employees see this clear, fulfilling career path within the company, and trust is built between the staff and the management, but also this camaraderie with other employees. And I like to compare this in dating to when a romantic relationship struggles to evolve beyond that early dating phase. Partners may enjoy each other's company initially, but over time, one or both might feel that it has become kind of stagnated. There's no really awareness of if we have any sort of shared goals for the future or shared growth opportunities together, and they are not spending enough time together and together with friends. And similarly, employees might feel enthusiastic when they first join your organization, but become disenchanted if they just don't see a future there. Obviously, as the employer, you must create those growth opportunities. But I have to say that in so many cases, our clients do already have those career opportunities. They just don't talk about them enough. They don't show how people have evolved with their careers in your organization. So when no one knows about those growth opportunities, when they don't understand what does it look like for me, what could it look like for me, those employees end up leaving because they never see or hear about colleagues who have actually grown and built their careers in that organization. You would be surprised how many times HR and management mistakenly believe that they have communicated career opportunities enough. In most cases, they haven't. You may have not. And what's even bigger failure is to recognize how to communicate career opportunities and to whom to maximize that impact of message delivered, understood, and stored in their hearts. It can be a costly exercise for a growth business to find and convince and hire and educate and groom your graduates into specialists, only to see them take everything that they learned with them, possibly to a competitor. Another example of an internal value conversion objective we have set for some of our clients who apply the magnetic employer branding method is how to lead existing employees confidently and comfortably through change. Now, organizational changes such as restructuring, new management, new CEO coming in, or shifts in strategic direction, those are inevitable in any company's life cycle, inevitable. And just as in personal relationships where significant changes such as, moving cities, switching careers, starting a family, or getting seriously ill can test the strength and adaptability of the partnership. Organizational changes challenge our resilience and commitment. So effective internal employee branding during these transitions is crucial for leading employees confidently and comfortably through that change, ensuring that the transition is as smooth and positive as possible. Using the magnetic employer branding method goes beyond internal change communication, because that is often one way, and it's focused on informing about the change from the business perspective and customer perspective, and what is the business's role in this change. But in employer brand communication, the focus must be on the people, your employees, how this change affects them as people, as persons, their life outside work, their health as employees, physical health, mental health, their career opportunities. And I think that this is a really great example of how we have helped some of our clients and to change existing employer brand perceptions, not just internally, but also externally during this kind of a change transformation process. In the internal setting, this extends from those mere information sending one-way communications to inviting employees through conversational, and content elements on this change journey with the organization. Again, we're using the same candidate journey of the information era, but now you can swap the word candidate to your employee journey. You want to win their sustainable attention. You want to make them aware about the transformative journey, what lies ahead, how it impacts them, what changes will be seen in the culture and ways of work, and why, and so on. And this can be super powerful way to build employer brand inside out, connect and engage employees with the change journey, and help employees feel so much safer and more secure amidst this change. I want to also share an example of a more simple employer branding conversion goal, which is converting existing employees to brand ambassadors and opinion leaders, and also boosting social recruiting among your hiring managers on social media. Again, these go beyond getting job applications. These add a whole different kind of dimension and value for the entire business and those people who are taking part as ambassadors and opinion leaders and social recruiting advocates. These conversion goals actually match the requirements of today, where individuals on social media are seen as more influential spokespeople for your business and workplace than your company itself. Now, it's vital to differentiate that these employer branding conversion examples that I went through and many other conversion examples, it's vital to distinguish them from objectives of a specific recruitment campaign. I want to emphasize that while recruitment is often transactional, focused on filling vacancies quickly, employer branding is very much strategic. It's very much relational, and it's aimed at building long-term relationships. And when organizations use employer branding resources solely for immediate recruitment needs, they really diminish return on their investment by limiting the scope of their efforts, and also potentially neglect other teams and departments that could benefit from a more expansive approach through the examples that I just mentioned. The value of long-term employer branding is immense and goes so much beyond just filling current openings when you execute it as a long-term strategy. It builds a community of advocates, enhances the company's reputation, and creates this talent pipeline that you could be tapping at any time of your need. And our modern approach to employer branding ensures that even if specific recruitment campaigns end, the connection with those potential future talents, employees, candidates, prospects does not end. Instead, it continues to grow, providing this ongoing value for your organization and your stakeholders. And when you understand these nuances, organizations can literally more effectively leverage their employer branding efforts to meet immediate hiring needs, foster this environment where the best talent is continually attracted, engaged, and ready to contribute to the company's success over time. Now, this kind of strategic approach ensures that employer branding remains a powerful tool in the competitive talent acquisition and retention landscape. So successful relationships and employer branding strategies don't end with making the commitment, as you know. When compared to dating and building committed relationship, that is actually when your life together starts. Once you have committed to a new employee, it's vital to evolve this commitment, this relationship. You want to move from employer brand marketing into the internal culture development, leadership behavior, and internal talent communication that nurtures these connections to ensure that longevity and mutual satisfaction. And for employer branding, this means focusing on employee retention strategies, continuous engagement, and creating opportunities for growth and development. In other words, keeping your organization competitive as an employer. This involves listening to the talent market and your existing employees' needs and adapting the workplace culture to keep your people motivated and committed into delivering your customer promises and goals for the business. And like in any long-term relationship, maintaining this happy and productive workforce requires an ongoing effort. It requires communication, lots of communication and adaptation. And I like all this keeping the product behind the employer brand competitive. Someone else but you may be responsible for this product development of the employee experience, but it's vital for you to see them as these people who are responsible for the product development of the employee experience. It's vital for you to see them as your key stakeholders for employer branding and understand how this magnetic employer branding ties in with internal employer branding, organizational culture, leadership, healthy relationships within the organization, all these growth opportunities that both your people and your organization have together. Okay, I feel out of breath about going into such depth about this topic. So I want to summarize these 2 episodes and leave you with the following idea to brew in your mind. So by viewing employer branding through the dating lens, you can create more engaging and effective strategies to attract, engage, and retain your top talent. Each phase of this relationship requires thoughtful interaction, deepening those connections that align with not just your organization's interests and needs, but both your side's and the talent side's values and needs so that you can ensure this mutually beneficial and lasting relationship. And this approach is central to magnetic employer branding method, ensuring that your candidates, that they not only come to love your company, but they stay in love with it as well. And when the time is right, they commit to this serious relationship called employment with your organization. Okay, I hope you enjoyed these 2 episodes as much as I loved making them for you. And listen, when I was actually writing these 2 episodes for you, I knew that I have to talk about dating in employer branding in my upcoming book about the magnetic employer branding method. So you will find content like this in my upcoming book as well. That is going to be all for this week, my dear audience. And as always, the show note article with all the links that I mentioned, any additional resources that I will think about can be found on this podcast's very own website, www.modernemployerbrand.com. And this is episode 181. Just scroll down the front page. If you got excited about this topic and the candidate journey of the information era, and if you want to understand more about magnetic employer branding method or at least the basic level, I have a few pages, PDF or ebook that I've written about it for you. It's totally free and you can download it in exchange of your email and a permission to include you on our modern employer branding email list. And you get the ebook and then 6 emails after that in which I talk about this method in more detail for you. And I will put the opt-in link on the show notes page. But if you happen to go to LinkedIn after this or can go to LinkedIn right now, go to my profile. Follow me if you haven't yet. Connect with me if you haven't yet. On the features section of my profile, you have the link to this ebook. If you are on Instagram, it is pinned on, no, it's not pinned, but actually just send me a DM on Instagram with the word ebook and you'll get an automatic response with the link. Okay, I'm gonna love you and leave you right now, but I'm gonna see you next week, same time, same place, same smile. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Susanna Rantanen. I'm your guide to modern employer branding. Moi moi.